Trigger music, man.
Fellas, ladies, you looking for lotions, you looking for beard oils, but unfortunately everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.
Hands up, don't panic, we came for the win. Flow start shaking when the crew walk in.
Look, I'm gonna start it over just because I want to mess with Jay. OG. Firearm Friday show. Step in, we come live. Yeah, OG network on. Whole room for the vibe. Run, talk, let it slide. Opinions don't matter. Keep that mouth closed up when the bass get fatter. Fat tatula in the cut. Got the whole block jumping. Go to for loud laugh. Make the whole night something. Hands up, don't panic. We came for the win. Flow start shaking when the crew walk in. Say it one time and say it again. If you know, you know. We don't need pretend. OG network. OG network, round opinions don't matter. Fat tatula, make the whole place shatter. OG network, OG, tell them who the king is. Chula. Every mouth get fearless. Chrome on the smile and the crowd get louder. Talk slick online, steal your foe when we around your firearm Friday. Heavy on the chest, not a game, not a test. So we the loudest in the West. Ron got a lot to say, but we never need that. We in the front row where the real ones react. Fat that Chula grand like you know the whole script. OG network stamp, put it all on the wrist. Hands up, don't panic, we came for the win. Floor start shaking when the crew walk in. Say it one time, then say it again. If you know, you know. We don't need pretty. OG network. OG network, round opinions don't matter. Fat tatula, make the whole place shatter. OG network, tell them who the king is. Fat tatula. Every mouth get fearless. Every mouth get whole room lean in when the name gets spoken. Coat look hot, grin, every doubt gets broken. Let them keep the talk, we just keep it moving. Big step, big sound, got the night improving. OG network, round opinions don't matter. Fat tatula, make the whole place shatter. What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the OG Network. Welcome to Fire on Fridays. Believe me when I tell you, you're going to want to stay for this one. You're going to want to stay for this one. You're going to want to stay for this one. This thing here, it's going to get real. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. That's real talk. We got something that we really wanted to get into that was eating at me for a while because I argue about this stuff all the time. And here we are, we come across a video that made me cringe to some extent. Also, because, you know, it's one thing to talk about, it's another thing to say to yourself, man, we there? But what's up, my brother Fat Tatula? How you doing?
What's up, brother Ron? And of course, yes, this is a topic that we've been dreading to talk about because now, as we know, government tyranny has exposed they fat ass tail cat wagon simplified everybody throwing everybody under the bus style because they don't want to go to jail. First and foremost, brother, it's always a pleasure to see you on Fire on Friday. Thank you very much for once again. I am humbled to be part of your show on the OG Network. And of course, as always, for those that are joining into the chat, whether now or later, listen, this is definitely one for the books. This is going to be one that you're going to see Ron and myself, even though Ron's opinion matters in my world. This is going to be the first time ever that Ron's opinion and the Fattatula are going to agree with every single thing that we are going to talk about. We are going to be holding hands, hugging each other, shoulder to shoulder, belly to shoulder, because I'm a little taller than he is. And we're just going to tell everybody what the truth is, because God darn it, they need to know what government tyranny is all about. And you're going to hear it straight from the government. Welcome, Chis, and welcome, my Rento, for joining up.
Now, here's the thing. And for anybody that follow the channel, and y'all know when we talk about Fire on Fridays, we always talk about where, they know me. Me and government tyranny is like Superman and kryptonite.
Yep.
I talk about this stuff, and I try to tell people you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. What they say in your face and what they're actually going. And that's why I always say you can't give them an inch. I say, because if you give them just this much, they're going to go way too far. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that you have no clue what's happening. You don't know what's going on. And this is why this video of them in Congress having a conversation with somebody before Congress of something that was going on in America for a long time. And it just went quiet. And when y'all listen to how long it's been going, you be like, wait a minute. So for all of those that own firearms, you need to listen. For all of them that have all of the weapons that you went and did background checks and everything you've done to obtain your firearm, you need to listen to this video. For all of you people in there that say, no, the government will never do that, you also need to listen to this video. I didn't even watch the whole video, but I knew exactly where it was going. I did watch some. I didn't watch the whole thing. But we had a little conversation behind the scenes. I talked to Jay. Jay said he went through the video. So he has more insight on the video than I do. Some of the video I'm going to be watching in real time. But I really want y'all to pay attention and watch this video and listen closely. And we're probably going to replay this video a couple of times just because you really have to listen. So Jay, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can bring up the video whenever you're ready to go rock and roll, and we're going to make this thing happen, and we're not even going to make y'all wait long.
Well. Brother Ron, we have to first and foremost let everybody know that this is for educational and teaching purposes
only.
Nothing we say is concrete until you come at us with some smoke, and then it's all over, because we're going to smoke you out of your house, and we're going to tell you exactly how it's done. Matter of fact, we may just join the panel that you're watching and come to your house and take you out your own damn house just because you coming at us the wrong way. So if you come at us the wrong way after what we're going to say tonight, you best be ready, because I'm coming in with artillery. I ain't coming in with no bullets. I'm coming in with artillery. And you know what that is? It's called a straight old big old tank and a big old bullet that has every single initial of our show, the OG Network. But with that
make sure y'all stay in. Y'all definitely gonna want to watch this one. Real talk. Y'all gonna want to see this
video. It's an interesting video. And hopefully everybody catches the timeline. If they don't catch the timeline, I'll be more than glad to let y'all know. So let's rock and roll.
To all of the witnesses for being here. Mr. Pratt, if I could just start with you.
Let's
very much,
start.
Mr. Chairman. Thanks to all of the witnesses for being here. Mr. Pratt, if I could just start with you. I want to ask you about something that I think deserves some answers. In fact, I've waited years for a substantive response on this. Back in 2021, I sent a letter to then President Biden's ATF asking about Rule 2021 R05, which is the rule that requires gun dealers to keep records on buyers permanently. They never gave me an answer. Thankfully, we now have a new administration, but it's often the case that old rules live on in a sort of zombie-like lifestyle through bureaucratic inertia. How many, do you know, Mr. Pratt, how many Biden-era ATF rules are still either on the books or continue to be enforced that we ought to be concerned about?
Thank you for the question. Unfortunately, there's several. With the one you just mentioned, the DOJ, even as of last week, was saying they intend to enforce the Biden rule. The same with the engaged in the business rule. Same with the pistol brace rule. We're fighting every single one of those. And, I'm so glad you took an interest in the registry, because GOA actually FOIA'd the ATF manual, and you can search the make, model, and serial number of, let's say, every firearm made by Smith & Wesson. And so you could then use that as a confiscation list to know which ones were the pistols with stabilizing braces.
I had to pause it real quick because he
Right.
says something there that I'm sure the majority of our viewers will not even know about. The FOIA. A FOIA is an actual document that you can go into any actual state government office and ask them for a FOIA, and it's a public document. The document that he's talking about, they would have to present it to you right there in your face. Even if they turn around and say, no, you got to go online. You tell them, nope, that's not the way it works. You have it in this building. You're supposed to present it to me. Now, mind you, it may be 1,000+ pages, but you can get it. You can get it.
And when ATF Director Stephen Dettelbach testified before the Congress, he told the Senate Judiciary Committee that they actually pay extra money to remove the search function on the names. And that was supposed to be our big defense against a confiscation list, our big defense against tyranny. They're paying extra money. What if they stop paying the extra money? Or what if they open up that Adobe document in some other type of document? They would still be able to search by name. So
now I gotta pause it again. Ron, from Ron's opinion don't matter. This is why I say Ron's opinion don't matter, has to be changed to Ron's opinion matters. For over time of me and Ron coming together, me watching Ron talking to everybody, all you subscribers, all you gonna be subscribers, all you future subscribers, Ron is firm, 10 toes down on government tyranny. Okay? For those that don't understand what government tyranny is where the government outrules your constitutional right. Did you understand what that means? That's like me, my fat ass comes over to your house, bangs on your door, tells you to get out. I give you no money. I tell you nothing about it, and I just tell you to get out. And I'm taking over your house. 99% of y'all would try to do something to me before I even get past the front door. So this is what government tyranny is about. So keep listening.
the only answer that we really have is to delete the registry.
Speaking of registries, my understanding is that sitting right now in a warehouse in
Hold
West
this for a minute.
Virginia, and you describe.
Notice he keeps saying registry, right? I want y'all to understand something. The United States is not even supposed to have a gun registry. Before I even go further, I want y'all to hear how many times have you heard the Democratic Party say we need a gun registry?
Countless.
So why in the world would they say that if in fact we already have one?
If the public don't know why.
See, we're not supposed to have one. That's the whole point. But yet he keep referring to it as a gun registry. It's intentional for a reason. But go ahead with the video.
Describe this in your testimony is roughly 1 billion gun owner records, 94% of them that are already in digital format.
Yes.
Now, federal law is supposed to prohibit a national gun registry, but I'm wondering, what would you call that?
We call that a registry.
Looks like it to me, too. I mean, let's just walk through this. If a future administration that's hostile to Second Amendment rights in this country were to get its hands on those records, billion gun owners' names, other information contained there, what do you think it might be able to do with them?
Well, that's absolutely the problem, is with any gun ban that's passed, they're able to search the makes and models of those guns. And if they stop paying for the names attached to them, they know exactly who's not in compliance with the law, which, again, is something that already happened in New York City when they registered guns in the 60s, passed a ban in the 90s, and then they did spot checks on people that they believed were not complying with the law.
In 1967, correct? New York required registration of rifles,
That's
I think
right.
it was, and shotguns as well. and promised then that, it wouldn't be used for confiscation. But then, in fact, they were confiscated. I think they went door to door back in the late 60s.
Mayor David Dinkins signed the ban, and that's exactly what they did.
Then in 1991, New York City also banned another class of weapons, and officials used, as I understand it, an existing database to do the same thing, to force confiscation. There's also, I suppose, the example of our Australian friends in 1996, I think it was. Australia passed the National Firearms Agreement, they called it, which, as I understand it, restricted gun ownership and mandated the creation of a firearm registry. And then, lo and behold, they went and used that to enforce mandatory buybacks. I seem to recall more than one Democratic candidate for president talking about mandatory buybacks. I mean, this is not a far-fetched conspiracy theory. This is something that's happened in our country. It's happened in our allies nations, and you've got members of the opposition party who are saying it's a great model. I mean, we should be concerned about this, shouldn't we?
We should be concerned about it, and that's why that registry cannot continue to exist, Senator.
What is the thing that we've got to do? What's the most
Jay,
urgent action we need to take, Mr. Pratt, to make sure this registry?
All right. This is the point. And actually, Jay, we can bring the video down. We'll go back to the beginning of it because eventually I'm going to replay this video. We're going to cipher through it. But I want y'all to understand something. How many times have you heard the Democratic Party refer to Trump as Hitler?
Countless times.
Countless times, right? All right, so if they was creating a gun registry that we supposedly did not know about, if they was keeping records of all the gun owners in America, right? And he keep referring to the Democrat. He's saying the other party, meaning the Democratic Party, right? All right, so what did Hitler do to the Jews? How was he able to strip the Jews of all of their firearms? He went to the records of all of the people that own firearms. He went, and then they went, once they had some people volunteered because they feared them, because they was afraid they was breaking the law. Then eventually they did what? They started going door to door, confiscating guns. And what happened to the Jews after the fact? They ended up in concentration camps. So for all you people out there that keep telling me that I don't know what I be talking about and why I keep saying this and why you cannot trust these people in politics, especially the Democrats, and I call them Democrats. That's why I said I'm going to have one of these days where I'm going on my rants. And I keep trying to tell y'all. So here's the thing. You go into they're not even supposed to have these records. The United States Constitution says the people rule, not government. So explain to me, why did the government have keeping records of all firearms information and who owns them and the names and the databases and all that other stuff? What do you think the intent was? Because none of that affects criminals, but they keep telling you about criminals. America does not have billions of criminals. That's a small percentage of America. They're going after everybody else. And the proof is right there. And that's the reason why he said in that video, we have to destroy it. So why in the world, and for those people that voted or wanted to stand and think that the Democratic Party are doing something in the best interest of you, this is the point that I keep trying to make, is that you're not understanding what was going on. This is the reason why I've always been so adamant about this. And like Jay said, I stand 10 toes down on this, and I never wavered from my stance because I had everything in my gut said that none of what they're saying makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is they're coming for the citizens of America. They're coming for the citizens of America, and this is what they need to do. They need to get the guns out of your hand, the powerful weapons out of your hand, in order for them to pull off the ultimate control is to get your defense away from you. Tell me where I'm wrong. But before I keep going too far, Jay, I'm going to let you chime in.
No. We ain't got to worry about me chiming in. We ain't got to worry about me jumping in. Look, everything you've been saying is absolutely right. You know, and like I said at the very beginning, and I've said it before, we tend to debate on a lot of things, but this one, unfortunately, I have to agree with you 100%. They're going the wrong way with it. And for those that don't understand how this has happened, let me just put a little twist on it. For maybe, just maybe, the watchers, the viewers, the subscribers, and those that are soon to subscribe understand why you stand 10 toes down with government tyranny. Now, if anybody has remembered when I was doing my show for quite some time, I kept my biggest pet peeve was handouts, right? I don't like people that always asking for a handout and never want to give anything back. So, first and foremost, I want you guys to see this here, okay? This is an actual document from the city of New York, or the state of New York, rather. Now, in the upper right-hand corner, right above where it says live, it says Letitia James. So, for those that don't know, Letitia James is the Attorney General for the state of New York. So, this is a present document. This is not a past. It's not doctored. It's not forged. It's not make-believe. This is an actual document that they're planning to do this coming October 19th. Okay? So, just for shits and giggles, and I always say people that want handouts are always the ones that make things difficult. So, they telling you to go turn your gun in at a church. Now, an assault rifle gets you $500. A handgun gets you $250. Right. A rifle or shotgun gets you $50. A non-working replica, antique, or homemade, or even a 3D printed gun to get you $25. So, here's my question for all those that like handouts. Here's your opportunity to get some money put in your pocket because you done stole somebody's gun. You done robbed somebody and took their gun. You found the gun inside the house that you was robbing. You found the gun in the car that you bought by the third person of your cousin's best friend's girlfriend's baby mama's sister. And you found the gun in the car. So here's your opportunity to sell it and make some money off of it, right? So my question to y'all is this. If you don't believe this is government tyranny, explain to me why they want you to turn it in at a church. Why not a police precinct? Why not?
So you feel more safe to do it. Now, this is how hypocritical these people are, right? All right, let me ask you a question, right? See, this is why I love these conversations. All right, so how many times have you heard the Democrat Party say we need to ban weapons after you even had a mass shooting at a church?
Totally.
All right, so now you're going to invite guns to a church.
Absolutely.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. This is why I couldn't agree with you. This is why I couldn't agree. I could not disagree with you, Ron. Tonight's segment, I could not disagree because when I've seen this, I had the pee-pee in my pants. I said, how is this possible?
This is why this is why I would like, if these people were in the room with me, I would light their behinds up. Because I will call them out on all they virtually signaling every single time because I know y'all lying. So if you think about this, now, when we go back to the video, I want you to think about the dates and the times and why they did it. Because here's where the racial part comes into play. Here's where, for you, African American, Black, I want y'all to understand what was really happening at that time. What the reason why they were really doing this is because Black people started owning firearms. Black people started owning assault weapons. Black people started, and all of these dates coincide with the Democratic Party and a racial motivation to keep Black people. Because here's the thing that they understood. They knew that the most of the white ones would never let them go.
Nope.
They weren't playing that.
Nope.
The whole intent behind that, this is why I keep telling Black people when they start talking about Joe Biden and Obama and all of them, they don't even realize what was really going on. They were attacking the black community right to defend themselves. So if, let's just say for shits and giggles, let's say black people, we went back to building Wall Street and we were thriving again. Guess what you think was going to happen?
They'll burn it down again.
They was going to burn it down again. They had every intention of doing it. This was the Democratic Party intent, to make sure that you will always be under the thumb of their authority. Tell me when I'm wrong.
I cannot disagree with you, because I know what it was in the late 70s, early 80s.
You from New York. This is why I love this, because I know you from New York.
Yeah, and I was part of the gun buyback syndrome. I want to put it like that. And we watched a lot of guns come in, and we watched a lot of guns get handed over. The bad part is this, and what a lot of people don't know, and I don't care what governor, what past commissioner, if they're alive or not, but I could tell you like this. The police department took in over 10 million guns and only destroyed 3 million.
And those are the ones that weren't useful.
No. Because a lot of reports, if anybody doesn't believe me, all you got to do is look up the reports. Mm-hmm. A lot of police reports, a lot of murders. You go back to a lot of cold cases. They go back and they say, wait a minute, this gun was turned in at a buyback station. How did it wind up back on the street?
Because the city went back and sold them again and made a profit.
Because the Democrats turned around and said, listen, we know that you're a drug dealer. We know you're a drug gangster. We know you're a gangster. We know you sell drugs. But here's the deal. We're going to give you this so you can keep protecting yourself against anybody who comes at you. But you got to keep giving us information on the other gangbangers. And for those that don't believe me when I say that, there's this funny thing that always tends to happen that people really refuse to watch. You can sit down and watch a 2-hour movie and root for the actors and be like, yeah, that's a great actor. Yeah, that's a great story. But yet fail to understand that it's a true story. So when you go back to watching the movie American Gangster and you see what the cops are doing in American Gangster, that's exactly during that same time frame.
What's up, Sean?
What's happening, Sean? So when you talk about, oh, this is not something true, this is not happening. No, it has happened, and it is continuously happening because, of course, it's easier for the criminals to stay out of jail because the Democrats want to keep them out of jail because they make more money. Right. They're worth more. Exactly. You know, the other day, I don't know if it was you, Ron, or somebody else I was watching or talking to. They turned around and they said, if the KKK, the groups of people that were in the KKK were to really start talking about the weapons that they have, they should have been abolished a long time ago. But yet, when you had the Black Panthers, and
that was me.
That was you? Okay.
Yeah, that was me.
And you had the Black Panthers, and I'm going to name some particular people. Bumpy Johnson. When Bumpy Johnson and all his people came together in Harlem and said, we're going to protect Harlem the best way we can, why is it that law enforcement and the government went after all those people but didn't go after the KKK to take all the weapons off of them?
That's exactly was the point that I was making. Now, here's the thing. I'm bringing y'all up to date on this because this just happened in the city of Philadelphia. The city of Philadelphia just recently revoked the concealed carry license of Black Panther members because of the fact that they had a disagreement with law enforcement. Now, here's my thing. The law enforcement work for the citizens of Philadelphia. How in the world did they have the authority to revoke your concealed carry license? But listen, the city of Philadelphia is dominantly Democrat. We've had Democrat leadership for 70 years. These are the very same people that keep saying out of their mouth, they're for Black and brown people, but then going to strip the Black and brown people of the very people that would have protected the Black and brown people in the city of Philadelphia. But they never went and stripped the KKK of anything.
Never.
Now,
listen.
No, I'm sorry, Jay. Give me one.
No, go ahead.
So this is the reason why I keep saying government tyranny is a real thing. And believe me when I tell you, the number one violator of that is the Democratic Party. They sit there and they virtue signal like they for you, make it sound great and sweet on the surface. But when you dig into their history of what they really trying to do is to control, manipulate, and have power. That's why recently you never hear them talk about anything but Trump. You know why they keep talking about Trump? Because Trump is starting to fund the dismantlement of all of the government tyranny that they were doing to people as it relates to the Second Amendment. They're reversing course, meaning he's destroying their ability to have that power. That's why this man is sitting before Congress right now, is because he's found something that he should not have found. And now he's saying we have to destroy it because the only way to ensure that American citizens would not be the government will not use this to be tyrannical and try to go after American citizens for their firearms, their one best weapon of defense against government tyranny. This is why they did it. And this is why he said you have to destroy it because they don't need to have access to it. And yet, Black people still went and voted for the very people that's trying to destroy their community. And still will do it. And still will do it.
And what I don't understand is this, okay? welcome, old man Jenkins. I see you in the building. Hopefully you're still around. Appreciate you.
He said the Black Panthers are Marxist group. That's not even, I don't care about that part. See, this is what you understand something. I don't care what group they are. The one thing you can say about the Black Panther is that they're there to protect their community. Who have the right to tell them that they can't? My thing is this. KKK is a Marxist group.
Let me throw something in there. For all these jokers, I don't care where you're from. I don't care what country you come from. I don't care what planet you believe you're not on. Yet, if you're on this blue planet called Earth, you know for a fact that in your town, if you're in the age between 40 and 70, put it like that. If you're between the ages of 40 and 70, I don't care if you're male or female, you between 40 and 70, in your neighborhood when you was growing up, there was a group of people that protected the neighborhood.
Point exactly.
You cannot tell me that that's not true. Because I can tell you right now, in Manhattan, there was two different groups protecting everybody between 110th and 125th Street. Two groups of people, okay, that were protecting everybody. Spanish Harlem is not called Spanish Harlem just because it's freaking filled with a whole bunch of Latinos that speak Spanish. By the way, Spanish is a language, not a culture nor a race. There was a group of people that protected them. In the Bronx, there was groups of people protecting everybody in the Bronx. That's why certain parts of the Bronx, like, for example, another great movie, The Bronx Tale, it specifically shows you that you couldn't come into that neighborhood if you wasn't part of that clan or part of that group.
My point is
there's a reason why groups protected each other in certain areas. But then, of course, as Ron says, government tyranny came in and said, no, you can't do that. But why did they not go after the outside people? They only went after the law-abiding citizens before they went after anybody else. How is it possible that a person can commit a murder and come out in less than 5 years? That's first and foremost. How is it that a person that's working a 9 to 5, 6 days a week, struggling to make $40,000 a year, has to go pay court fees and all these court fines and all this other nonsense? But yet a criminal gets caught, and they turn around and slap him on the wrist and give him a $500 fine while he's got $3,000 in his pocket. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you something.
Democrats want all criminals to be on the street to continue causing a ruckus.
Right.
That is the reason why laws are made to hinder the law-abiding citizen. So all this stuff here that we're talking about as far as the gun registry, think about this for a moment. How many of you people have had your cars towed because you didn't pay your car note? Many of you. So think of it the same way. You have a weapon to protect yourself and your family, and you have this weapon, you purchased it legally, but yet now the government knows exactly how you purchased it, where you purchased it, and when you purchased it, and how you're going to use it. So when they turn around and say, you know what, we don't want that town to have too many of ARs, let's say, for example, we're going to go take all the ARs. Oh, hell no, you ain't. No, we're all going to get together, and anybody who comes in has to stand around and say why. Another great movie for y'all to watch, and this is why I say a lot of you don't watch movies for the actual story to understand what the truth is behind it. You want to look at the movie because of the actors. The famous movie that I like to talk about is Sisu. Sisu is a great movie on how this man turned around and he destroyed the whole German army that kept coming after him by himself. Okay? But understand the storyline behind it. There's a lot of movies out there that talk about the truth behind what happens with government tyranny, and too many of you are not paying attention that when you're getting slapped in the mouth, you want to stay quiet because you believe in the person that's you look. Stop paying the Democrats. If the Democrats did not have any money in their pocket, no way, no how whatsoever, they wouldn't have 15 police officers watching over them. They wouldn't have $3 million homes. They wouldn't be in court right now trying to settle out a mortgage fraud. They won't be in court right now looking for pardons from the president. Why? Because you people, and I say you people that keep voting for the persons that believes in protecting you when all they want is the money out of your pocket.
Yep.
To keep funding themselves and keep taking your rights away. The reason there's a government, and this is what I don't understand. I don't understand this, and hopefully somebody could explain it to me. If you live in the state of Pennsylvania, I'm gonna use Pennsylvania because Ron's in Pennsylvania. Why is there 3 different governments? Why is there a federal government, state government, and a local government? Why does there have to be 3 big bosses inside the city of Philadelphia?
Man, let me tell you, city of Philadelphia think they're unique. That's why. They think they don't have the city of Philadelphia, in my opinion, and here's the thing. I want y'all to understand how essential, how sometimes when you don't pay attention to politics, and this is why Firearm Friday went the way that it's going today, is because these people, these politicians are coming after your weapons. Now, here's the thing. I keep trying to tell people, the reason why they threw the felon thing in there is for that to be a way to make people into felons that normally wouldn't not be a felon. Now, here's my point to that. Here's my point. You go, let's say I'm out back then. This is where it started at. I got a firearm and they notice black people start owning firearms, right? That's their defense to make sure that they can protect themselves just in case the KKK or some other group of people come around and try to do something to them, right? They say, well, you know what? If you have a firearm that don't belong to you, then we're gonna make you a felon in the city of Philadelphia. Listen, because it's not your firearm, we're gonna make you a felon in the city of Philadelphia. Now, you didn't shoot nobody, you ain't robbed nobody. You just gotta, like, here's my point. Me and Jay could be outside and say, yo, I just bought me a 9mm, right? Yo, check it out. I can clear it, check it, hand it him the right way. He can look at it, check and clear the hot one. Because he's holding my firearm, they can make him a felon. What crime did he commit? This is the city of Philadelphia. Now, here's the thing. They already know that you're not going to have money to go get a lawyer to defend yourself. So you're going to use a public defender that's paid by the same government that already know what he's going to do is to get you to agree and take the plea.
Speak the truth. Speak the truth.
To get you to agree and take the plea. Why? Because he's part of the same circle of people that's putting you in this predicament. Why? Because what they really want to do is make you a felon, make sure you have no way to defend yourself. And guess what? The smart part about it is that they put black faces, so they put black faces in front of your face so you can trust the face and not realize what they're really doing to you.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Real quick, I like that comment. I think it's Shish Maref.
Go ahead.
I like what they put. I like this comment. It said they put the immigration. The Democrats let all the immigrants in so they can overwhelm the justice system. You are absolutely 110%, if there was such a thing, correct with that statement. Because of course, that's what I call a cloud of smoke. Because when you can't see what's happening, you're gonna believe the people of authority are telling you the truth. But yet the people of authority don't even know what they're talking about. So they're just gonna tell you something for you to believe it, and then you're gonna go run with it. So that statement right there is absolutely true, because when the court system is overwhelmed, that means that the public defender has a caseload of 2,500 per month and can't even keep up. So they're going to agree to anything that the prosecutor says to do. Like Ron said, that's exactly what's happening. They're working in the same, because that public defender eventually wants to be a prosecutor for the same state. So Ron is 100% correct with that statement. And I know this for a fact, because I'll tell you like this. I'll tell you like this. I dare anybody. I dare anyone to question this one. Ask any police officer that you know in your town, your state, your city, your town, if they know the penal law book front to back, code by code. Ask that. And if you don't believe me, you watch some of the videos I've done, reaction videos in the past with, they don't know what they're talking about. They're guessing. Because anytime you see a police officer go, I think we could do this. We could do this. We should do this. That says that they don't really know. Okay, that's first and foremost. And the reason why I'm talking about that, because it comes right back to the gun laws. Because in essence, like Ron said, if I'm a police officer, I charge you with a felony. Now you can't be a gun owner, but yet I allow you to have, or rather, not me. The government allows you to be a business owner. The government allows you to buy a home. The government allows you to buy a car. The government allows you to get loans from banks. So how are you supposed to protect yourself from the same criminal you were hanging out with? Let's just say you was a gangbanger and you turned your life around. I know many of them that done that.
Right.
But they can't have a firearm because they were gangbangers and they had 3 ounces of weed on them, and they're now charged with felonies. But because it says felony, you can't get a firearm. That doesn't make sense.
That's why they threw it in there. That's the reason why they threw it in there. Felony was not part of the original Constitution. Had nothing to do with it. The reason why they throw all these subs in there is because when black people, I'm trying to tell y'all, when melanated people in America started owning firearms back then, they said, oh, these Negroes got weapons now. We got to do something about this.
Well, that's the reason why. That's the reason why they chose to put Biden inside the office. That's why they were trying to push so hard to get Kamala in the office, because they're both melanated, and the melanated communities believe in the melanated people to protect themselves. How many times has a black person robbed another black person? Then they had this famous phrase called "black on black crime."
Yep.
So when are you going to start? When is the melanated community going to realize you can't trust? If you don't trust your own people to come together, how can you trust your own people to protect you? You got to ask yourself that question first. There's a reason why communities were made. There's a reason why the Black Panthers were made. There's a reason why people that come together to decide to come together and protect themselves, protect everybody in that community with the weapons they got. Because they all have weapons, they're going to protect the whole community. Look, this goes back to when many of us were born. Zulu Nation, the African tribe Zulu. Why did they protect everybody? They didn't care what tribe you was from. They protected almost everyone when the colonists came over. There was a reason for that. So the same thing again. So now we narrow it down. We come back into the future to present time. You have a bunch of Democrats bitching and moaning about gun laws, but yet they don't want to protect your own gun law. They want you to turn around and register your gun, let them know what kind you bought, let them know when you bought it, let them know every year that you still have it. Because if you didn't know this, there's a registry. We just heard them say there's a registry. So they're watching everything that happens with that gun. Every time you go to the gun range, because guess what? When you go to the gun range, they got to register that you're there. They take your license. They take your information. All right, welcome, Mr. Jones. How you doing? Good to see you again. Oh, well, here's a free box of ammunition for you to go ahead and fire your weapon. Do y'all not realize? Do y'all not realize?
Supposed to keep those weapons.
Yeah, absolutely. Because here's the funny thing. What you fools, and again, with all due respect, Ron, because you love going to the gun range, and I know you take your own ammo. What happens to the shell casings at that gun range? The shell casing is the fingerprint to your firearm.
Yep.
So how else do you think they know where your firearm was? Because if they require
for the firing range to keep just to make sure that, okay, I give y'all an example. And I'm not saying this is what happened, but it can happen what he's talking about. I go to the gun range, right? I leave my ID. They say, okay, you're going to be, I'm talking about me going to the gun range. I go there, sign up, they give my ID. They say, okay, you're going to be in lane 13, right? I go in lane, bam, 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 bam. Now, one of my firearms, I'm not going to say is unique, but it ain't a whole lot of people that have. So they're going to already know that if I see some 458 shell casings, we know who brought the 458 shell casings in this range. You coming in with certain guns, and then they're going to say, okay, what's to say that they say, okay, get one of the things. This person had this type of this caliber gun. This person had that caliber gun. Why? They was on lane 13. Now, here's my point to this is that this is why America was, the reason why I say this is because America was established to protect, the reason why the Second Amendment was put there in the first place was against government tyranny. It has nothing to do with criminals. Zero. The whole point of America doing what they did at that time was to protect. They did not want to be under government tyranny, which was British rule. They wanted to be independent of that. And they wanted to make sure that the people had the right to keep them on to protect themselves from government tyranny, if in fact it ever did. That way they can form a militia to protect themselves. It had nothing to do with criminals.
Stupid ass comment.
There are some gun places that want you to pay cash, don't want you to pay cash for guns because they want you to use your credit card so the information will be in their data system. And I'm quite sure there are. And one thing I keep saying this is why I always say my number one rule when it comes to who I'm gonna vote for has to do with their gun stance. And the minute they start talking any level of restriction, I will not vote for you. Like right now in the state of Pennsylvania, got election going to go down as far as governors go. And that Josh Shapiro is not going to get matter of fact, I'm coming out full circle for him, and I'm gonna do everything I can do to dismantle his campaign because I know that he's tyrannical. But this is why you have to pay attention. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. You hear what they say, but you need to watch what they're doing and why they're doing it. In order we go back to this video. And if you watch what they were saying, if you watch what this man was saying, we are not supposed to have a gun registry. The government is not supposed to know what you have. They're not supposed to have a clue what you have. Somewhere along the line, we failed and we did not put a stop to these politicians slowly but surely creeping into your everyday life, and they're not supposed to read the Constitution. You'll understand. The Constitution says what? The people rule. We supposed to know what government is doing, not government know what you're doing. The government don't pay you anything. We pay taxes. We elect officials that work for us. What company do you know that hires somebody and they come in telling the boss what to do? I'm the owner. I'm the boss. I hire you to do the job, and now you're going to tell me what to do, and I'm paying you? That is how America is established. The president of the United States was elected. You are his boss. His job is to do the best things in the interest of the people. The mayor, you are their boss. The governor, you are their boss. Their job is to do the best thing for the interest of the people. But the minute they start saying, we need to limit firearms, and they use this virtually saying, oh, we want to stop mass shootings. Meanwhile, they taking a whole bunch of ammunition and guns right to a church, and they worrying about mass shootings. But you want people to bring firearms to a church, but all these churches got mass shootings that now you want to bring. No, we're gonna collect them at the church. So y'all not worried. Listen. So y'all not worrying about not one person coming to that church with a firearm and doing a mass shooting. Y'all not even worried about that. This is how I tell y'all know y'all full of crap. Why would you even do that?
It makes no sense because I don't understand how anyone in their right mind could turn around and say, "Yeah, let's do that." Because let's look at the setup. I can tell you what the setup is because I've seen. I've been part of one before. You have police. You have ATF. You have DEA in plainclothes uniform or undercovers. You have a few snitches. You have the DOC, which is Department of Corrections, in the background waiting. Okay. And then you have one or two people of the prosecution team. Why? Because they're taking pictures of the people who are turning in the guns.
You done walked in there with all these guns and rifles, and meanwhile they videotaping everybody.
So not only do they know what you had that you're not turning
what you
in,
look like, what you brought
they know
there.
exactly. They know where you live at because someone is following you back home.
Right.
Then on top of that, here's what makes it funnier for me. This is what makes it real funny for me. If you have a record, if you happen to have a record, the minute you walk away, someone is checking you out and seeing exactly how long is your rap sheet. And if you have an open warrant, because now they have what many of you fail to understand, there's a camera everywhere. If you have a warrant for your arrest for a failure to appear, guess where your ass is going? Because all they're gonna do is, okay, well, let that one looks familiar. Hold on, let's do facial recognition to see exactly where he pop up at. Oh, he got a tattoo on the side of his face. That's unique. Run that tattoo. Let's see if it's gang related. People, come on now. Oh, wait a minute. That's his that I could have swore he said that he had a grandmother. That grandmother looked just like that boy. Look her up. What a lot of people don't understand is, and this is why graciously I'm humbled to say that I'm part of tonight's show, because I have to agree with you when you talk about government tyranny. This is a classic case of government tyranny and how the local government is overstepping the federal government way of doing things. Because, of course, they're saying the local government, because this is the local government, because now I showed you a document that showed Letitia's name on top. She is the district attorney for the state of New York. So the state of New York is saying, okay, well, we want to venture out to this certain area and have everybody in that area turning their guns.
Federal law.
You didn't see this. You didn't hear the federal government said, "Oh, you didn't hear the ATF come down and say, no, we need to take the guns away." You didn't hear that. You didn't hear the Department of Justice or the federal government say, we need to investigate what's going on. You saw this from a local government, a state government said, we need to control the guns. They're not controlling the guns. They're going to take whatever guns are being turned in and turn them right back into the city, into the hands of the criminals, like they did back in the 80s and like they did the same thing back in the 70s.
And if you look at it, the government is doing right now, and the current government is doing the very opposite. Here's my point to that. Remember we did the show about Virginia?
Yes.
Right? And what they were trying to do. What did the federal government step in and do? Suing them.
Yep.
Suing them. Why? Because it's government tyranny. What did the Supreme Court finally step in? You can't do that. My point is this, is that, but yet, people voted these people in office and thinking that these people are doing this stuff in the when they start talking about when a mass shooting happens, and here's my point. Of course, we don't want anybody to get murdered, killed, or anything. When a mass shooting happens, when you hear them start blaming the gun, you already need to stop ignoring them.
Absolutely.
The minute they begin to blame the gun, they full of crap. Because we need to keep the guns out of their hand. No. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to stop the next mass shooting. They still going to get it. What you should have had, and this is where people don't like when I say this, what you should have had was more armed people there to put the fool down when he got started.
That's right.
Because nobody's going to go pick a fight with a bunch of people that have more weapons than you do. The only thing that stops bad people with guns is good people with guns.
That's right.
Because if the police showed up to stop me and the police didn't have guns, why y'all just came here to get killed with everybody else?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I want to piggyback off of that real quick. Why is it? And I'm sure many people have either experienced it personally, watching the videos of it. So what I'm going to say is going to be pretty funny. Why is it every time you see a police car chase, the cops pull out their guns and scream at the person that they finished chasing in a car chase. The windows are still up, but they got all their guns drawn, but no one takes a shot. How does that make sense? So you're just trying to intimidate the person by pulling out a handgun. Isn't the old saying, if you pull it out, you better use it?
Right.
I mean, I was growing up with that statement. I was growing up with, if you pull something out, you better use it. Because if you don't use it, I'm going to take it off you and I'll beat the shit out of you with it, or I'm going to use it on you.
Why? You know why? Because every police officer, for the most part, in the back of their mind, they worried about the back end of when they pull that trigger, what they're going to have to deal with.
Yep.
And nobody wants to be the first one to take the shot. Because they're thinking about lawsuits, losing my job, be it, the Democrat Party coming saying, oh, it was an unjustified shooting, everything is racist. They don't want to have to deal with all of that being dragged through the mud. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some police officers that get what they deserve. They wrong. They do some dirt. I get that. I'm not even arguing with that part. But a lot of times as a police officer, you have to be very restrained, because you already know that if I pull this trigger, it's going to be a whole lot of heat that comes after. Even though this person done crashed up other people's car, tried to damn near killed 100 people before they even tried to stop the person, had no care for nobody else's life, had no care for them. He's reckless, endangering all these people's life along with himself. That means he don't care. They still are restraining themselves from not taking that shot because they still worried about the back end of that. And now, again, to me, in my opinion, they should have lit his behind up the minute he started driving through the streets and recklessly. All right, you trying to kill people.
And I'm glad you said it just like that. I'm glad you said it just like that, because I'm going to piggyback off of what you just said, and I'm going to bring something closer to present day. Wasn't it the woman that got unalived by the federal agent when she used her car and went after him? Mm-hmm. And they turned around and said, "Oh no, the federal agent was justified."
Right.
She didn't get far. She got 10 feet. 10 feet, and they lit her up like a Christmas tree.
And honestly speaking,
so you're right when it comes down
to a weapon. You turn that vehicle into a weapon.
And that's exactly right. So the moment you use that vehicle as a weapon, you are now subject of being unalived. Period.
And you are endangering not just yourself, everybody that's around you, because when you flying through the streets trying to get away from the police, you crashing people's cars, and even if you don't hit no car, somebody see you flying, they react to try to get out of your way and end up getting into an accident because you caused the accident, even though it's so much dangerous stuff that you're doing. To me, when you out there and you wilding out like that, if the police unalive you, I'm sorry, I'm with the police on that one.
And now let's try let's bring this back.
But they still show restraint.
Yeah, they do. And as we bring it back to the reason of tonight's episode, as far as the registry with the gun ownership,
right?
If in fact every single person that was standing in front of that vehicle, when she decided to put that shit in drive, I can put my arm on the chopper's block and say she thought about that shit 15 times when she saw everybody in the neighborhood go like tick, 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 tick. She was like, "Oh shit, I better stay still." Right. Because everybody's gonna shoot me.
She didn't,
because they're protecting each other. They're protecting the community.
She did not think that he would.
Exactly. And it's kind of ironic how local police officers and state police officers that are supposed, like you said, are paid by us taxpayers. Right. They don't protect us the right way. They prefer to protect us in the opposite way.
Right.
Hinder the law-abiding citizen and don't give a shit about the criminal. It doesn't make sense.
Honestly, because if you think about it, it's a coward move. See, the law-abiding citizen is really no threat to them. So why not go after the law-abiding citizen? Because they're not really a threat to me, because they're not violent, they're not criminal, they're not reckless, they're not dangerous. So it's easy for them to deal with law-abiding citizens and make their life a hell. But then when it comes to being up against a criminal who really don't care about your life and probably will kill you just as fast, they seem like they don't want to deal with that.
It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that. And I'm gonna say this just like this. I'm in South Carolina. We walk around with our pistolas on our hip.
Right.
Bright as day, the sun is in the sky, the moon's in the sky, you can see our pistolas on our hips. The majority of the people know that everybody's got a firearm because they can see it. They is not coming up to anybody and starting no nonsense. Even the police come up, they say hi from afar. They'll let you know they're coming from afar. Right? Now, in Pennsylvania, where you're at, you're in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, they'll come up right on you because they don't expect you to have anything. And that's an intimidating factor. So they intimidating you as a law-abiding citizen.
In the city of Philadelphia, yeah. In Pennsylvania, it's similar to where you at.
Oh, hell no, it ain't.
Well, here's the thing. I'm out. You know what I mean? And like we were just, matter of fact, we were just at the restaurant not too long ago, and it's a vet that I always see him with his he has a really nice gun too. But he always I'm sorry about that, but yeah, it's a really nice gun. But he keeps his gun on his hip. And what I see him all the time, and don't get me wrong, outside of Philadelphia in the state of Pennsylvania, we have an open carry law. So I'm not gonna say it's like down south. I can tell you right now that depending on where you at in Pennsylvania, it's not like down south.
I gotta ask this question.
Right. But in Philadelphia, everybody's tucking and hiding.
So why is it that the state of Pennsylvania put a law into play that you couldn't transport your weapon through Pennsylvania?
Well, you can.
If I come up there and my pistol's on my hip, and I come up and I go into Pennsylvania.
No, it's just Philadelphia.
Hold on now.
Philadelphia, of course, is a city in Philadelphia. This is where everybody gets it. That's why it's so confusing. In the state of Pennsylvania, you can open carry.
Right, you can open carry if you're a resident.
You're behind in the city of Philadelphia, which is in the state of Pennsylvania. Their whole thing changes.
That comes back to government tyranny in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia. So the city of Philadelphia has their own government that went against the federal government, that went against the state government.
There you go.
And turned around and said, no, we're going to run our own shit our way, which that's government tyranny, okay, in black and white.
Right.
Yet, I recall several months ago, I came across an article that Pennsylvania was trying to stop the ruling of the DOJ, the federal government, of stating that any licensed gun owner can transport, because it's called
strawberry purchase.
What they call it? Journey.
Oh, okay.
So from Journey from point A to point C, whatever it is, if you come across 5 states, you don't have to take your pistol and put it in the glove compartment or in the lockbox. Right. But yet Pennsylvania tried to turn around and say it couldn't be done if you're going into Jersey.
Now you understand why I said I wouldn't vote for Josh Shapiro. Remember, earlier I said he's the current governor, and he's running for re-election. And this is why I said he's tyrannical. This is exactly what I said. Why I said Josh Shapiro, he's a Democrat and he's tyrannical. They always get up there and they virtue signal like what they're saying is for the people, when in reality, if something was, let's just look at it from the criminal element. I'm not even gonna get into the governance. If something's about to happen, if somebody's about to rob me, who gonna be there? Josh Shapiro ain't gonna be there. The police ain't gonna be there. My cell phone will be there. And even if I get a chance to hit 911, that means that the swiftest response time is about 3 to 6 minutes. And if you're in Philadelphia, it is not 3 to 6 minutes. It's more like hour to 2 hours.
Right.
But let's just say you in outside surrounding counties. 3 to 6 minutes for them to show up. You dead already.
Right.
You're already dead. You already robbed. Everything that happened. And they are, listen, I want y'all to think about this. If you're on the highway and you're traveling 55, 60 miles an hour.
Right.
Right? In a vehicle.
Right.
How far are you going to get in 6 minutes?
Oof.
You're going to be 6 miles away. Minimum. So they can off, unalive you, get into a vehicle, and get 6 miles away by the time the police show up.
Ain't that something?
This is why I say people don't pay attention to what. Don't wait for them to come. You better handle that yourself, and you better have something that you can. I don't care what the weapon. I'm not telling you what to have. I'm telling you, you better have something.
Right.
Preferably a firearm and then a knife, a decent, good knife.
Right.
But my thing is this: is that by the time they unalive you and do what they're going to do, how if someone comes up, it's seconds that's going to happen to you. Everything that's going to happen is going to happen in seconds. It's not going to take a minute. It's going to happen in seconds.
Right.
Help is minutes away. The only thing you can do in them seconds is to try to do the best you can to defend your life. 6 minutes away. They came and unalived you, and they are 6 miles away by the time the police show up. Now they got to investigate. But the damage is done. You're gone.
Right.
But if you have a way to defend yourself, because I'm going to tell you something. This is what they don't tell you. Just the mere fact that you have a firearm and you go to get it and pull it, and a person that had bad intentions see it, you just leveled the playing field, and they might not want that smoke, and they might just say, yo, I'm out.
Right.
And nothing got fired. No one shot anything. They just bailed out because they did not want that smoke, because they didn't know that they was going to be met with the same thing that they had. Or better. Depending on what you had. And this is how, this is like, you got to look at it like this. Let's say a guy that's maybe a little small guy, let's say he's 5'5", not very skinny and something like that, right? And I'm quite sure we've seen cartoons and stuff like this happen. And then some somewhat bigger guy come up and he's trying to bully that guy, right? Now he's can't defend himself, but then another big guy comes up behind him like he's his big brother, big strong dude. And then the guy's behavior changes and say, oh, and now he might think that the guy ran off from him, but he don't realize behind him there's a bigger dude. That's a bigger threat.
Right.
That's how that works. And then he turned around and said, oh, I didn't know you were here. Now you understand why the person ran. They weren't running from you. They were running from what was behind you. That's the whole point of having the ability to have the best weapons possible to defend yourself. Because if someone sees a weapon, they know that now this is not a fight that I'm going to have. I don't have the upper hand no more. You just leveled the playing field. The gun became the equalizer in this. So just as fast as you can get me, I got something for you too. Now, it's up to who's faster, who's quicker, and who can make and who got best to aim. And usually these fools out here ain't good at that part.
That's true.
And this is why I say, and Jay, we both agree to this part, is that training is essential. Learning how to use your firearm is essential. The only thing that we slightly disagree with is being obligated to do so to own one. Now I think Jay is probably leaning a little bit more towards me.
Well, no, I am. I gotta be honest, I am.
Right.
And I just and just for the record, I found the article I was talking about.
Okay.
Real quick. Okay, real quick. I promise. 30 seconds. I promise. It says here that traveling interstate, if you're traveling through Pennsylvania from another state where the firearm is legal to a third destination, the FOPA, which is the federal law, the federal law allows you to carry, it protects you as long as, and this is particularly to Pennsylvania. This is where I was trying to remember what I was talking about. Okay. This is particularly to Pennsylvania. It says the firearm is unloaded. Neither the gun or ammunition is easily accessible from the passenger compartment. So that's saying that if I come to visit you, that I'm going through and I happen to stop off and visit you, right, I got to take my gun and take out the magazine and empty it out completely and put the bullets and the magazine in the glove compartment and then put my gun back on my hip. Oh, hell no, I ain't.
I mean, I wouldn't do it, but that's what they want. That's Jersey. Jersey does the same thing. No. Jersey don't want you with it at all. They want it in a locked box, 2 different boxes,
2 different chains, 5 different locks, and you don't have the key nor the combination.
So when someone, Pennsylvania, especially in the city of Philadelphia, they want you to do that. So when the carjackers come to carjack you, you gotta go in the trunk in the glove compartment, find all the pieces you need, put your firearm back together.
Right.
Just so you can stop them from carjacking. So you want people to get carjacked, is what you're saying.
Look. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. You probably won't believe me on this one, but I'm gonna tell you a funny story.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise you it'll be less than a minute. In Puerto Rico, which is a major tourist attraction for many people. Why? I don't know. But anyway, there's a rule that even the police department in Puerto Rico, that's the whole island of Puerto Rico, all the police officers tell all the tourists the same thing. If you're driving after sundown and you come to a red light, you better keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop because you're going to get robbed. You're going to get your car taken and anything you got, you're going to get robbed. So they're already telling you not to stop. And anybody doesn't believe me, look it up. So when we talk, and I gotta reel it back so that everybody understands why we're talking about government tyranny. And why I got to join the ranks of Ron's opinion doesn't matter when it comes to government tyranny.
I just want to say welcome.
I humbly bow to you, sire.
It's okay. We welcome all.
It doesn't make sense to me that you want to monitor what I have as I pay you to keep me protected. How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to me.
It makes sense if I want to be able to control you.
I'm frustrated to hear that the government, the entities of the government are finally coming to light and saying, we're not supposed to be doing that, yet we're the federal government. What the local and state does, that's on them.
You know what I think about? I think about for how far and how long I was so ignorant.
Well, hell, I just got brought into the light. I've been ignorant for almost 2 years.
How ignorant I was. And I did not realize. This is why I do not subscribe to the idea of not paying attention to politics and not paying attention to what they're doing. I got kids. I got grandkids. I want my grandkids and my kids to continue to be able to enjoy this country in its original state. I don't want my grandkids and my kids to have to deal with government tyranny. Somebody controlling their life from just because you say you're from the government. That don't mean nothing. That means you work for me. When I go out there and everybody that's on this line, when you go out there and you work, and they take them taxes out of you, did they ask you, did you want to pay taxes? No, they didn't. They didn't.
Wait. Are you implying that you got strong arm robbed?
Right. That's exactly what I'm implying. They stripped your taxes. You know why? Now, I want y'all to hear this. You know why they took your taxes? Because they don't trust you to pay. I'm being real. I'm not even joking at this point. The reason why they took the taxes is because they don't trust you to do it. So why in the world would you trust them to do things in the best interest of you? They don't trust you. They take it.
You got a point there. You got a very good damn point there.
So why in the world would you trust them to do things in your best interest when they don't even trust you to pay them and say, no, this is a volunteer basis. Just pay us when you get paid, take out this and send it in and pay it. They say, hell no, we don't trust y'all. We're going to take everything before you get it. We're going to take it. That way we ain't got to worry about it. Listen, I want y'all to hear this. This is crazy.
So why they lock up that pastor that locked everybody in the church?
So y'all not leaving here until I get my money.
Yeah, until you put some money inside that damn basket.
No, you had to put 1,000 to get out.
$20 from each person. Everybody got to pull out $20 on their purse and put it inside that little basket before you get out the door.
And my point is this: is that everybody listen.
I
Never listen. When people ask me now, don't get me wrong. I voted the way I voted because of what the man campaigned on. This is not about politics. This is the point that I'm making. Is that that doesn't mean that I trust people like that. It just means that I look into someone's history and look how they are personally, and I get a better perspective. I don't listen to noise.
Right.
And when I realize how smart the person was, and this is why he said he don't like paying taxes. He said, I don't like what y'all do with my money. Then this is a guy that rubbed shoulders with them for years and saying out of his mouth, because I don't like what y'all do with my money. He let them know that's his money. This is not your money. Tell me what the government do to earn your money, to take your money from you. What did they do for you to take your money from you? And not give you the option to voluntarily pay it. They took it.
As I sit here and I think about that, you don't fluffed up my head. Honestly, you don't fluffed up my head with that question.
Right. But yeah,
because in actuality, they ain't really doing nothing for me. Hell, they keep taking more money out of my pocket than I'm actually getting in response.
Well, then they say, well, this is for. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay taxes. And I understand the infrastructure, the things that need to be taken care of. I understand that. That's not my point. My point is this, is that it went too far when they start trying to make everything run through the government. Like these nonprofit organizations should not be part of government. All of these handouts for these research and stuff should not come through the government. I know y'all think that it's okay, but it's not, because there is a lot of corruption that goes on with this stuff. This is the reason why I tell you need to have something and you need to make sure you're good, because these people are evil. They acting like virtual signaling, like if I came into Jay and I said, you know what, we need to take the guns off the street because we see a lot of black people dying. Right? This is how it sounds. Right. Nope. Now we know better, but this is how they come off. This is just when we don't want to see people getting mass murders on the street. We don't want to see babies getting killed on the street. So if we get rid of the guns, that won't stop the babies from getting killed on the street. And that will stop the young people from being murdered. They'll stop this and they'll stop that, right? This is what they keep saying. But they never, ever tell you the truth. And the truth is, if you really felt that strongly about it, why aren't y'all educating them on why the proper way to handle and use and what it's really for? They want that behavior because it makes them money. It keeps them in power. They don't care about life.
No.
These people don't care about life.
They don't.
If they cared about life, why no pharmaceutical company at this point, with all the billions that we invest in, to have any cures?
Or better yet, I know we're gonna take this a little sideways. I'm gonna go a little sideways with it. Just recently, they proved there's a whistleblower that from the CIA that proved that Fauci was lying about the COVID. Mm-hmm. They have proof now that it was nothing but a joke, nothing but a lie. Yep. But billions of dollars was invested into the pharmaceutical companies, and all the dumb people behind it put up money.
Thank you, Dr. Fauci, because I made a lot of money.
Look, that comes back to, like you keep saying, and I apologize, I keep bringing it back to government tyranny. It's come back to government tyranny because, like you said a moment ago, if the president said, "I don't trust you with my money, I don't want you touching my money," there's a reason why he said that, because he didn't trust them. But yet now, that, like you said a moment ago, the local governments and the state governments and some of the federal governments want to take money from you, and you haven't even done anything for them. You haven't done anything for that money. What have you done? Isn't an honest earning wage of statement?
Mm-hmm.
So
what
honest service did they provide us to pay taxes?
So let's go back to this part. All right, for those the people, and we're gonna be out of here soon, but for those people that complain about, oh, they need to raise minimum wage.
Oh hell, we can't. No.
Right.
No.
So I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. But these very same people never say, the ones that say that let's raise minimum wage, why they never say let's just stop taxing you so you can keep all your minimum wage? Listen to what I'm saying to y'all. For the very same people that keep saying we should raise minimum wage, why they never say let's just cut all the taxes out and let them keep everything they have? That's a start, wouldn't it?
That would actually balance the scales, because the more money you make,
right.
the
So
more
this is
money
where
you
I
make,
tell
the more
people
taxes they get.
they keep talking about these politicians. Oh, we need to raise minimum wage. They virtue signaling like they're doing something for you. And this is what I keep telling you. It's not, because if they really was concerned about your income and you being having a living wage, why would they tax a wage that's not even able to live off of?
Listen, we ain't gonna talk about that because I'm already pissed off at that. I'm retired, and I don't understand why I'm still paying why I'm getting taxed on my retirement fund.
Because they taxing you they taxed that money when you was working all them years, and now they taxing the money that's supposed to be for you.
Because they crooks.
Right.
So
well,
I
here's
agree
the
with
thing.
you. Stop.
We allowed it.
And that's why. And I got to cut you off. I truly apologize.
No, you good.
Because you had said this. God dang it! Once again, you said this before, and I just remember you said this. Trump turned around and said we got to abolish the IRS and get rid of that taxation nonsense. And they fought tooth and nail to keep that shit into play.
And it's still there.
And it's still there.
And they trying to drag it out long enough until Trump is out of office. So again, if the president is trying to do everything he can do for you to keep all your money, who's the real tyrannic? And the other group of people is trying to tax you out of your money, but then turn around still say we need to raise minimum wage
to take more money out of you. So we raise your salary, but we're gonna take more money from you,
so we can tax you more. Make it make sense. Why? Because they're getting that money. This money that they're getting is lining their pockets.
Absolutely. So we raise the minimum wage. We raise the minimum wage from $11 to $25, but you still got to pay $9 back in taxes.
So did you get a raise? Nope.
Make it make sense. Did you actually get a salary increase?
When you got the raise, you went into another tax bracket, so they hit you harder.
Exactly. So did you actually get a tax?
No. Now you trying to figure out why your paycheck still look the same.
Exactly. Look.
For the yoke. How they say back in the hood, you fell for the okie doke.
That's right. They fell, and they keep falling for the okie doke because they keep allowing it to happen.
And they're gonna keep voting for the same people.
The same exact people that keep wanting to take money. So you keep paying the people to rob you. How is it possible you're paying the robber to rob you every single week? You pay the robber to rob you every single. Matter of fact, you paying the robber to rob you at the gas pump. How many of you are tired of paying this high ass price for gas? Oh, we got to cut back on gas. We got to figure out how to make more money to get this oil. No, you paying someone to steal from you.
Now here's the thing. Again, state of Pennsylvania. Look at the amount of tax that they tax every time you pump your gas.
Look, you said it. You had said something a few segments ago. I'm so tongue-tied right now. It's disgusting because every time I keep thinking about everything you said was right, and it's coming to light more and more and more, I keep stabbing myself in the foot saying, that nabbit, Ron was right again. A soda tax. What in God's carnation did you actually think that you had the right to tax soda? Because you want to stop people from getting fat? No. You making people more fat, and you taking the money and putting it in your pocket to get fatter.
Yep. And they did it. And here's the thing. People, they went down there and argued. Listen, people was there and nobody wanted it. Nobody in the city of Philadelphia wanted the tax. The people didn't even want the tax. But yet the politicians still turned around and passed it. How does that? So you telling me that nobody in the city of Philadelphia wanted this? You had no support from the citizens. And you still push it through and never reversed it. and now you're trying to tax another one, which is your ride.
Well, we look. I heard so much stuff over the weekend. Over the weekend, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
But again,
Look, Ron, I'm having a hard time with this one too. As a business owner, I got to pay double taxes.
Oh man!
So I got to charge a person tax so that I can pay tax to a government that I'm their boss. How is it possible that I'm losing more money because a group of people want to believe that they know better than what I know?
Right.
That comes
And
back to what you call it, government tyranny. I'm gonna have to change my name. I'm gonna have to change my name to New Reform Tyranny.
Not important.
I don't get it. I don't get how is it possible that we as citizens keep falling for the okie doke by voting certain people in office. This is why I'm glad that you and I both agreed to this one thing. We both voted on Trump to clean up the house. Right. And I'm so glad that he's cleaning up the house the way he is, regardless of how many people get pissed off, how many people's banks are starting to get depleted. And it's a good thing to see. Now, if it can funnel all the way down to the state and local government to stop their tyranny, it'd be great. It'd be great because I again, the one thing that you and I both disagreed on as far as the weapons are concerned is the bullets. And now I understand why you always believe that the gun should not have a registry because, of course, as we've seen in the past, we know in the past, I've seen it myself. Gun registry turns around and only hinders the law-abiding citizen that legally got their gun because Jesus and Jerome and Triquan is on the corner with 9mm, Glocks, Berettas, and they're not getting stopped. They're not getting questioned. They're not because they don't know that they have them. So they go over to Sue and they go over to Mr. Allen and they go after Mr. James and they go after Mr. Torres and say, you have a gun. We know you have this kind of gun. You bought it this day. You bought it this time. You spent this amount of money for it. You went to the gun range and used it here. You went to the gun range and used it there. We have the striations from the bullets that you used at the gun range. So we want the gun now.
And again,
and your first question is why? Because we're the government and we can do it.
And that's the reason why I say over and over again is that my first indicator of why I'm not going to vote for somebody starts with when they start talking about limiting guns, anything anti-gun. I don't care what level it is. I don't care. I never waver from that. And this is the reason why, is because I know what their intentions are. And I've always known what their intentions are. It's not for the betterment or the safety of the people. It's for them to drag it to the point where they have full control over the people and eventually flush the people into tyranny. And I'm telling y'all right now, that whole COVID situation was a test run.
Y'all listening to this brother right here? I got to point this way because I'm watching how when I point in the opposite way. So Ron is sitting on my left. Yeah. Y'all need to start listening to this brother. This brother here has information that you fools keep not wanting to hear. But he talks truth. So his opinion, as much as y'all say it don't matter, y'all need to start listening. Because he's been saying, I'm gonna test to this. Here's my testimony. I fought Ron tooth and nail about tyranny and gun registries. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately now.
But who would have thought that was going on? None of us knew all of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I had inklings. I had what I would consider real strong convictions, gut feelings. I knew they did, because none of what they were saying was making sense to me. I said, they're doing something behind the scene, and I need to know what it is. And thank God that I eventually found that video, because it exposes everything that I knew. I just didn't have a way of actually, someone in the inside finally spoke out about it. Now, again, now my hope is they destroy all of it. Totally. Destroy it all because I don't trust government. I don't trust the people in government. I definitely don't trust career politicians because the longer they're there, the more corrupt they become.
Right.
That's why I really personally think that they should have limit terms on everybody because the longer they stay, the worse they get. But again, I know we usually talk about Fire on Friday, but I think this conversation was essential. And I think it was very well needed because for those that keep, want their rights to keep their on. I want to tell y'all this also is that the Trump administration right now is doing a lot to help felons get their rights back. I wish they do more. I'm hoping they do even more. But they did put funding there. They is trying to reverse a lot of this stuff that they were doing, the tyrannical stuff that they were doing. And listen, this is why, and understand this, is that for those that try to say that the man is racist, this situation as it relates to felons have negatively affected more black people than anybody else because we were the ones. Black people, meticulously black men, was being caught up in that by far more than anybody under that felon rule. And that was the whole intent. That was the whole intent. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot other people have. But the whole intent behind it was to try to keep melanated people at that time away from firearms as much as possible. So if I make you a felon now, you can't have a firearm. But that wasn't the original intent of the Second Amendment. That's the problem. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm facing this way because I know this is the direction that you when you look on the screen, I know I'm looking at you now.
Right.
So there's a very old saying, okay, and I want you to be honest with me for right now. If you ever heard of something similar to this matter,
right?
Birds of a feather will flock together.
Okay.
Which basically means a certain group of people will always stick together and protect each other and do things together to overcome a situation.
Right.
So, as you said a moment ago, the government, the federal government under Trump's administration is trying to protect and bring back the laws to carry for a felon.
Right.
Did we not forget that Trump is a felon?
You got a felon out there helping felons.
So when we talk about how communities are supposed to protect each other,
look how they rewrote the law to make him a felon.
Absolutely.
Right. And this is the joke. This is the reason why I say you guys don't understand what be happening. This is why I'm glad they did what they did because they exposed themselves when they went after him. And I keep trying to tell people, I'm not saying that every black person that got a felon didn't earn it. That's not what I'm saying. But a lot of them was made felons for simple things as, I was holding my friend's gun. He showed it to me, let me have it. I was checking it out. A police happened to pull up, seen it, and now I'm a felon.
I'm going to give you a better one. I'm going to give you a better one. Let's just say your wife, this is just an example, because I heard about this and I know about this very, very particularly. Your wife is the licensed gun owner.
Right.
You are not allowed to have a gun in your possession because you are AKA a felon. Yet you and your wife live together for the past 30 years in the same house where the weapon is at. You will be charged with possession of a firearm
because it's in the house.
It's in the house.
Now,
what bullshit is that?
Even if you beat the case, why should you have to go through the process of having to beat the case? And this is where they get people is that even if you beat the case, the fact that they drag you through all of that for no reason.
You're a law-abiding citizen.
Right.
That's why.
This is why, as much as I hear people say, I don't want to be involved with politics, this is why you have to pay attention because they're making decisions on your life. You don't think they are? They are. And they don't care about your life. What they care about is how much they can squeeze out of your life for their life. That's why they living in $1 million mansions and you barely making your mortgage. That ain't got nothing to do with the current administration. These are career politicians doing this. This is why Nancy Pelosi and all of the ones in Martha's Vineyard living well. Never ran a business in their life. But all of them are multimillionaires off of politics.
Look at the Clintons. Look at the Clintons.
Right.
Look at the Clintons.
They questioned that
a long time ago.
But then turn around and say, this man don't pay his taxes. Who's a billionaire, property, real estate, investments, all types of stuff Trump has did to prove that he is a billionaire by, listen, he was wealthy from his father. He took what his father gave him and he expanded on it and built real estate and business deals and all types of stuff. Wrote books, had his own show, all types of stuff that he did to make money. Tell me what the Clintons did. Tell me what Obama did. Tell me what Joe Biden and them did. Nancy Pelosi, all of these people that's on the Democratic Party got all this wealth and never did nothing to obtain this wealth but be in politics. And some of them got ridiculous money.
Ridiculous.
Oh, they wrote that's why you think they all come out and say they wrote a book? That's the scam. The scam is, they wrote a book and that's where they got the money from. No, I'm going to tell you what they did. They wrote a book, all right. And then they took the government money, paid for all the books, and destroyed the books. And that's how they laundered the money to them through the book deal.
Yep. Dirty.
Because most of the time, if you ask people, did you buy that book? Oh, I didn't buy that book. Did you buy that book? No, I didn't buy that book.
They laundered the money through the books.
It's a bestseller. Well, who had the book? Meanwhile, I come across an Obama book in some type of place where the stuff is 25 cents because nobody was reading it. If it was worth all that money, why is it somewhere where nobody's even reading the stuff?
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. But we fall for it, man. But we're not going to hold y'all. We're going to give y'all night back. But I told y'all this was going to be a good one. And I think that video was definitely a good one.
It was.
And I really, really feel as though this was information that I think the audience needed to know if y'all did not come across this video. And I'm going to tell you something. Do not let these give me 1 second, Jay. You got it. Do not let this government lie to you and tell you that they're doing things in the best interest of you. And listen, I'm saying on the Democrat and Republican side now. We know that the Democrats are the worst and they're the worst of the worst. But I'm saying in general, Republican, Democrat politicians, you need to keep your eye on it. You need to hear what they're saying, and you also need to watch what they're doing. Because there's a lot more things that be going on than you're not paying attention. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to be left with you're going to be caught with your pants down. You're going to be like, I didn't know what was going on. Now you're there.
Facts.
Get you some. But go ahead, bro.
Well, I need to say this before we close out. And I want it to be live so that everybody can hear this. Ron, I apologize. I apologize for being hard-headed and going against you and debating you with the tyranny concept. And unfortunately, I was wrong. And I have to admit, I was wrong. So please forgive me as we continue moving forward for being such an a-hole in debating you about the tyranny.
Well, honestly, Jay, here's the thing. One thing I appreciate about the show, and I always say this, is that we don't always agree on stuff. And I think that's what, how they say, iron sharpens iron. If both of us came out of our mouth and just saying the same thing, agree, it would not make a great show. You know what I'm saying? So we have to have some level of what I would say friction or disagreement in order for us to know that we know what we're talking about. Because we both not going to be right about everything.
Right, exactly. True.
And don't get it wrong. There were times that we've had shows where I had one opinion and then I had to change my thought on it. Like, oh, no, Jay, you know I had to rock. So this is not like Ryan's right about everything. But in this case, Jay know I was
right.
I was paying attention on this. Right. In this case, he came to the conclusion that I was right about this, and I stayed 10 toes on it. I was not bending. I wasn't even slightly bending. But it's the reason why, and this is the reason why, is that video right there is the reason why I was making the point that you can't give these people as much as it sounds good, and I'm like, even when Jay was talking about the mental aspect, and I said to Jay, as much as it sounds good, you don't understand what we're dealing with on the other side of that. If you give these people an inch, they're going to go way too far. It's not going to stop at this. They're going to use it as a weapon against the people. And I've seen it over and over. This is the reason why I stick to my guns with that. And I think that even though Jay was actually, what he said is making a good point. If you had honest people, it probably would work. But unfortunately, the people that we're dealing with politically wise, they're going to take it and they're going to weaponize it against the people. And that's why I don't want them involved. This is the reason why I just say I can't have them involved in anything, because everything that they do is going to weaponize it against citizens like me and him and all the law-abiding citizens. And they're going to try to make them into something that they're not, just so they can be tyrannical, have control, and stay in power, which they have no power. The power is in the people. I mean, and make sure y'all good. Make sure y'all get that 5.56. Make sure y'all get that 9 mil. Make sure y'all get that 12 gauge. Listen. This is about firearms. And make sure my 3 recommendations is the same 3 recommendations that most people talk about when it comes to self-defense. And when it comes to, I always say the same thing, is handgun, shotgun, rifle. 3 tools that I feel as though you should have in your arsenal. And I'm not saying you have to have a bunch of them. I'm just saying that by minimum, handgun, shotgun, rifle, 1 of each. And I'm just saying from the firearm perspective. I'm not talking about like knives and swords and Chinese stars.
What so right before we leave, I got two statements to say. Crossbow is definitely one to add. Yeah. Okay. And I want you to take a look at this thing. I want you to look at it before we leave.
All right. No, it's cool. Let's go. Oh, yeah, I seen that. Yo, you know what? You know what I think is a good idea? You know what I think is a good idea? All right, the silliness is getting ready to come out right now. You know what I think is a good idea? I think they should hand that thing right there to all of the dealers at the casinos. And that's how they dish you your cards.
Okay.
You be in the casino and get ready. You be ready to play some blackjack or something. He pull it out such.
You be having a what they call a straight flush in your chest. I won.
I tell you one thing, they'll stop people from gambling.
Ooh,
like, I ain't going back no more. I went in to gamble. He started shooting me with cards.
Man. Oh my goodness. Well, Ron.
Yeah,
you might be successful. I don't know. I've seen some cards do some justice.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool though.
I love the song. Before I forget, I love the song.
Oh yeah,
fabulous.
Yeah,
I do,
man.
I do.
Old man Jenkins made it for us.
Okay.
Yeah, old man Jenkins made it. When he sent it to me, I was like, yeah, I like this. I ain't want nothing to change. And I like how he put it together, and I like how he that he included both of us in there because this is our show. This is not my show. This is our show. This is what we decided to do, and I think we make a good team. I think it's going well.
I think
you know what I mean. And we gonna close out. On that song. We're going to close out on that song. And listen, y'all got to check out our theme song for Fire on Friday.
I love it. Fabulous. It's fabulous.
And Jay, any last words before I click the music?
All I got to say, brother, once again, a great show, fabulous content. You know, I am so humbled to be in your world. I mean this with all true sincerity. I'm humbled to be part of your show. I'm humbled to be in your world. I appreciate the fact that you allow me in your world and we can collaborate together on these shows. Yes. And of course, I'm in your corner, brother. I'm in your corner. I appreciate everything you do. Yeah. And for those that don't understand, I'm a very hard person to deal with. And if Ron can stick with me for 2.5 years, you know what? I guess everybody else can. But I appreciate you, brother Ron. Many, many blessings to you and the family, of course.
Yeah. And listen, before we go out there, I do want to say this one thing is that make sure y'all checking out the product, top to bottom, organics, hair care products, skin care products. I use it all. I use everything that they make, and I love the product. Great, great product. Make sure y'all use the OG Network 26 promo code. You get a 15% discount if you spend $35 and up. But here's the thing. Discount is great, but here's the real part. Here's the real kicker for me. It's this. I got the air fresheners. My car smells so goddamn good, I don't be wanting to get out of it. I'm dead serious, man. They make these air fresheners for your car, and I mean, for anywhere, but I got it in my car, and I got it in my bathroom, and I got it in this room. Okay, I got it all around the house. But, so if you're looking for a wonderful product, hair care product, you know what I mean, skincare products, body wash, and a whole plethora of products that is great for you that don't have toxic stuff in there, you need to go check out top to bottom hair and skincare products. If you're not sure how to find them, the link is right here on my channel. You just click it, go right to the store, and just start buying up stuff. And I say that with all sincerity. I love their product, man, and I appreciate you guys. You know what you guys do over there and the product that you make, and I think that the more people start to find out about it and test it out and stuff like that, they're going to appreciate what you guys are doing. Some of the people that use it personally are getting great results. And so, in my opinion, man, you guys make the best product when it comes to hair care, skincare, candles, and all the stuff they make. They make a lot of stuff. That's why I say y'all got to go check out the website. Just go check out the website. Go through the website. Go spend time in the website checking stuff out. You know what I mean? Y'all going to like what you see. And believe me, I'm a happy customer. I've been buying their product for a long time. And you know what I mean? And the vast majority of the stuff that I have, hair care, skincare products, is from them. And here's the thing, I'm not a real gloomy person, but I love the product and I enjoy it very, very much. And with that said, we get ready to get into the theme song. Don't hate.
I'll tell them who the king is.
Oh, I messed up. I got to start it over. Rewind.
Fuck OG. Fire on Friday show. Step in, we come live. Yeah, OG Network on. Whole room for the vibe. Yeah. Run, talk, let it slide. Opinions don't matter. Keep that mouth closed up when the bass get fatter. Yeah. That tatula in the cut. Got the whole block jumping. Go to for loud laugh. Make the whole night something. Hands up, don't panic. We came for the win. Flow start shaking when the crew walk in. Say it one time and say it again. If you know, you know. We don't need pretend. OG Network. OG Network. Run, opinions don't matter.
Fat tatula.
Make the whole place shatter. OG Network, OG, tell them who the king is.
Chula.
Every mouth get fearless. Chrome on the smile and the crowd get louder. Talk slick online, steal your phone when we around your fire on Friday. Heavy on the chest, not a game, not a test. So we the loudest in the West. Ron got a lot to say, but we never need that. We in the front row where the real ones react. Fat that Chula grand like he know the whole script. OG Network stamp, put it all on the wrist. Hands up, don't panic, we came for the win. Flow start shaking when the crew walk in. Say it one time, then say it again. If you know, you know. We don't need pre OG Network. OG
Fellas,
network,
ladies,
round
looking for
opinions
lotion,
don't matter.
looking for beard oil, but unfortunately, everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and it's probably killing you.
Tell them
No problem, we got it. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skin Care. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skin Care. www.top2bottom, BOTT, you is for uniquem.com. Tell them I sent you.
Whole room lean in when the name